what is the keto flu and can I avoid it?
The keto flu, I know a lot of people fear the keto flu. I remember being intimidated by what it was going to be like, how bad I was going to feel. And I was tempted to put off my start date a couple of years ago when I started keto because I was worried about the keto flu. So I know that you've really dug into this, so I want to let you get into the science.
Yeah, so the keto flu is, I would just describe it as a period of time when there's an absence of an energy source, right?
So your body is confused.
Right, so you're going along with your life, you decide to do the keto diet, you burn, like today you burn glucose, tomorrow you don't eat any sugar, and your body doesn't know how to make ketones yet, right? So it takes a couple days to get into ketosis.
It knows how to make ketones, it's just not good at it.
Right.
Because it hasn't done it since you were a baby.
So there's a lack of energy there.
Okay.
And that feels like the flu, right?
Yeah,
that lack
that
of
makes
energy,
sense.
Your cells are just starving for some kind of energy, and you get worn down and you feel awful. Now, some people don't really ever experience this, and I think that that's partly due to their specific biology, their genetics that allows them to transition faster, to make the enzymes that are required to turn on ketone production. Maybe they're already really insulin sensitive, and so their insulin levels drop really quickly. Hormone sensitive lipase comes into play much faster, and they just generally skip over this. And maybe they're also the type of person that eats a lot of salts and potassium and magnesium and things like that that keep you from getting cramps and keep you from feeling really crappy during that initial transition period. So
the keto flu can feel like headaches, just tired, lethargic. It's really just think about flu symptoms. It's usually not a fever, so I don't really like when you call it the flu, but that is a good, minus the fever, it's a good way of describing how it feels. It feels uncomfortable. You can tell something's wrong. If you haven't started keto yet, yes, there are absolutely ways to avoid or minimize the effects of the keto flu. Magnesium supplements. The best way to get magnesium is through the skin. So you can look at gels, sprays, or even an Epsom salt bath. Epsom salts are widely available, and other magnesium salts that are out there. Or you can take a supplement. Most of them are going to give you some loose stools. So supplements like Calm are very popular as a drink. We actually use it when we travel and we get bound up to loosen stools, but it also helps you sleep. So if you're going to want to take it orally, you want to look for magnesium glycinate.
Yeah, so
it's just best. That's what we take orally, and it's just the most bioavailable to your body. And you want to choose a high quality. And most of the glycinates out there are higher quality. So yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it's actually going to be absorbed by your body instead of getting something cheap that isn't really doing much for you.
And if I know I'm going to be active, then I will double up or make sure to take extra. Like we use Hy-Lyte, which is our
it's an electrolyte supplement. So the really easy way to do this is to use salt. And so we generally recommend like a whole salt. So either Redmond's, the Redmond's brand, or like pink sea salt or gray sea salt, something that's not a processed salt. Because the problem with a lot of the processed salts and even the salt packets is a lot of them have sugar in them.
Yeah.
So if
you'll find dextrose in a lot of the
table salts.
Table salt packets.
Yeah. If table salt is all you have available, find one that doesn't contain sugars and use that. And you can find guidelines for how much you need. But keep in mind that the more coffee you drink, the more salt you need. That's something I didn't know early on. Because sometimes when we're feeling real low energy, like we would, like when we're going, like you tend to drink more coffee.
Yeah.
But the more coffee you drink, the more electrolytes you're pushing out of your body because coffee is a diuretic, so it's moving water out of your body. So you actually need to increase your salt intake the more caffeine you're having.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So That would include diet sodas if you're still on the diet soda train.
Yeah, with anything with caffeine in it. So also pay really close attention to your sleep and do everything you can to get good quality sleep. So don't drink caffeine after noon or 1 o'clock. You know, make sure you're cutting yourself off, because what caffeine actually does is blocks your ability to go to sleep or to get deep sleep. And deep sleep happens early. You know, what did you say the other day?
Typically within the first 2 hours is when you're going to get the most of your deep sleep. Now, there are other cycles throughout the night. Most people go through, there's 3 distinct phases of sleep, right? And 5 cycles of those 3 phases. So, but the most deep sleep is within the first 2 hours of going to bed.
So if you've been drinking caffeine all day, even if you don't think it affects you, and then you go to sleep, it does block the things in your brain that signal deep sleep. Right. I don't know if you've done any testing with that with your brain tracking.
I should.
So other things to avoid the keto flu is don't go all out intense on your exercise program. This is a time to take a break from that. Maybe do some yoga, some light walking, stretching, myofascial release, foam rolling, anything like that, meditation. Because you're asking your body to change.
Right.
So many things. And so if you exercise really hard.
Which I do, and when we were transitioning back in, I'm still going to my gym, but I dial it back. So we use a lot of kettlebells, and I'll go down 2 kettlebell sizes. And actually, Billy, who's the name of my coach, he goes, "You're going pretty light today." He said, I'm just taking it easy because I'm transitioning back into ketosis. So I'm just doing what I think is right.
So even later on, when you're transitioning back into ketosis, it's smart to not go all out. And he did learn the lesson the hard way. Yeah,
because I worked out hard on at day 3 of a fast, and it wrecked me real bad.
So,
it was awful.
So you'll also hear some people recommend potassium supplements, and you need to be careful about that. You can take some potassium, but you want to be careful not to take too much. You want to be careful it's not going to interfere with any medications you're taking. So before you take any extra supplements, always check with your doctor if you're taking any medications, or your pharmacist is another great resource for that. So things we mentioned were magnesium through the skin, like with gels, sprays, or salts, Epsom salts or the other magnesium salts. Salt, like Hy-Lyte is an electrolyte supplement that has a couple different things in it, or a whole salt. What I mean by that is like Redmond sea salt or a pink Himalayan sea salt or a gray salt. Try to find something that's pure. And then getting sleep, making sure you're hydrated. I don't know if I mentioned that one. So making sure you're hydrated. So with the salt, just sipping on water throughout the day. So because you are going to be making some extra trips to the bathroom as you move into ketosis, because your glycogen that's in your muscles also holds a water molecule. So as you move into that state of ketosis, one sign that it's happening is all of a sudden you're in the bathroom.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Because the water, the glycogen is being used by your body, the water is being released from your body. But still keep in mind you still need to hydrate.
Yep.